Hello and welcome to Cali Legends Media. Okay, it's the weekend. I wasn't going to do anything this weekend for the YouTube channel, but I'm going to do a story for you guys today. You guys said that you guys enjoy hearing stories from back in the days. Well, here you go. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to all the subscribers. The new subscribers, welcome. And all of you that have been my subscribers for quite some time now, I want to thank you for watching the videos, hitting the likes. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. The best way to support the channel is you could hit that like button. If you're a subscriber, just hit that like button. And it's a way to support the channel and it not cost anything. Okay? All right, so I took a drive and I pulled up right here in the shade. And I'm sitting outside of a building where I was arrested for the very first time in my life, all right? So before I get to the arrest, let me go back a little bit. And this was before I was in the neighborhood, but I used to hang around with all the guys. They were all guys from my elementary school, guys that lived on my block or somewhere around my house. And we were all in Griffith Junior High School, right? And back then, they had a different type of marifufu, right? They had Colombian gold, Panama red, Acapulco gold. They had some commercial that was just, I guess, pretty much homegrown. But it was different back in the days, man. For $10, it'd be 4 fingers worth, right? Nowadays, you can't get nothing for $10 but little nug, right? Well, we built a treehouse behind my homeboy Smiley, baby Smiley's pad. We built a treehouse way in the back in one of his trees, man. Nice treehouse, huge. Probably I would say like about 8 to 10 people could probably fit in there. And we go hang around in there and, kick back. Sometimes we'd hide in there when the man was looking for us. We'd run in his yard, climb up the tree. Helicopters would come. See, back then, East LA, at least in Maravilla, was full of trees. I'll give you a perfect example, would be like Ford Boulevard. You drive down Ford Boulevard and you were like almost in a tunnel. You had trees growing from both sides that almost touched, And I guess because due to the fact that they couldn't find you when they were looking for you because of those trees, it was real easy to get out of sight, They knocked all them trees down. And now you drive down the street, there's no trees, There might be some small trees that the government put in place of those big trees, but they never really grew. They never really took. And so we had this tree house, right? Where we'd always go and kick it. And back then I didn't indulge in anything. Nothing at all. But there at the school, believe it or not, there was a lot of kids that used to like to, kick back and do their thing. So what we would do is we'd get a 4-finger deal, maybe some Panama red or Acapulco gold. We'd go up in the treehouse and we'd all be kicking back, making cigarettes. We'd go to school with a big old thing of leños, right? So at gym class, during gym class, we'd kick back in the bleachers and all gang of them kids, that were in class with us, they'd come over to the bleachers, and we'd sell one for 50 cents. You know, just one cigarette. So we stood there selling those toques, 50 cents each, and we'd sell out. Almost every day we'd sell out. People knew and waited so they could come and give us $3 and walk away with a handful of leños, right? That went on for quite some time. And then there were times when we didn't have anything. So we'd go to the store and we'd get their, it wasn't yerba buena, it was like parsley, right? Believe me, it was like parsley. That's what it was. They'd sell them in little baggies, you know, those little hard, crispy bags with a tag. And we go buy or steal all the parsley from the stores. Take them back to the treehouse, and there we go. We'd make cigarettes out of parsley. And we'd go over to gym class, and I'm not kidding you, man. People would get those parsley sticks off us and come back for more, you know? I don't know what it was, but some people liked that stuff and would come back for the parsley, right? So this went on for quite some time, right? So one day I'm in this class. I think the lady's name was Miss Matahari, right? Miss Matahari was a well-known teacher because she had got trapped in the snow in the mountains for 3 days. Search parties were out looking for her and everything, with a young instructor. And the story went that they were freezing to death. So the way they kept warm was they took their clothes off and embraced each other and would fall asleep that way so that they wouldn't freeze to death, you know? They used their body heat. So from there, the story grew in a big old story. And Miss Matahari looked pretty much different, you know, from that point. I remember one time I was sitting in her class and I was bored and I had a pencil in my hand, and those classrooms had like these fans way in the back with the propellers spinning inside the fan, and I was sticking the pencil down into the slot, but as soon as it would hit, I'd pull it out, you know, so the tip would barely get hit and I'd pull it out. Well, one time that sucker sucked that pencil in and it sounded like wood shop. You just hear and fucking wood dust just flying out into the classroom. Yeah, man. I ended up my punishment was not being able to do my drum solo for a performance that we had worked for to do in the auditorium. You know, I was playing the drums, and they sat me down as a drummer as a punishment. Mr. Tavis, the music teacher. Yeah, Miss Matahari made a big old thing out of it, you know. Anyways, so I'm in Miss Matahari's class this particular day, and there was this blonde dude that worked for the school. His name was Perinallo, okay? He was the one that was known to always swat the kids. They had paddles, big paddles with holes drilled in them. And, you know, depending on what you did, he'd say, you know, well, you're going to get 3 swats. You're going to get 5 swats. And he'd make you hold on to a chair, and he'd give you a good whack, right? He never swatted me. I always boned out, you know. I took off. I think I told the story one time when he tried to swat me. I took off and I jumped the fence, and they called my house. My dad took me back and told me, hey, if my kid needs to be disciplined or swatted, I'm going to swat him. That's my son. Nobody's going to be hitting my son, especially not with no board. And so, yeah, I'd always take off. This particular time, Perinallo came with the narc. We had a narc that worked in our school. He was a real police narcotics cop, right? Perinello goes, because the classroom had 2 doors, one on each side. Perinello went to one door, and the narc went to the other door, and they called the teacher. So the teacher went out there, and I'm sitting there. We're all sitting there wondering what they're doing there. And the teacher calls me, you know. So there I go, and they go, hey, we want to talk to you real quick about something. So they take me to the teacher's lounge, which is about 5 or 6 doors away. We used to keep all the clavo in my locker. There was about 6 of us kids that were doing this, and we'd put all of our different bags in my locker, you know, for almost the whole school season, you know. And little did I know, they went and they raided my locker. They opened it, they searched it, they took everything out of it, right? So they take me to the teacher's lounge, and they start searching me, taking everything out of my pocket and everything, right? And in the while they're doing that, they're telling me about my locker, that they found bags of rolled leños, right? Leño's a cigarette, for those of you who don't know. And these cigarettes were special cigarettes, if you know what, if you get my drift, right? Anyway, so I tell them, like, hey, it doesn't matter. That stuff's not real. It's parsley, right? They looked at each other. They went over. They start pulling bags out, checking it, tearing them open, tearing up the leños, tearing them open, smelling them. It was parsley. I thought I was slick. I'm getting away, right? And the other guy is going through my pockets and all my belongings and taking everything out of my wallet. And I forgot that I had one joint inside there of Colombian gold. So he pulls it out and he shows it to me. He goes, and this? What's this? I go, it's parsley too. Oh, is it? He smells it. Oh, really? That's this parsley, huh? Let me see. And he opens it up. And I even think it had a seed in it. Back then, there was no sensamia. There was nothing that came with no seeds. That was unheard of. But anyways, he goes, this ain't parsley. So he ends up handcuffing me, and he takes me to this building that's right here. And they call East LA Sheriffs. So East LA Sheriffs comes down. They take my handcuffs off, put their handcuffs on, and they take me to 3rd Street and put me into one of the juvenile cells, right? Call my house, and of all people, they get a hold of my mom. I wish I would have got a hold of my pops, but they got a hold of my mom. So she comes and she picks me up, and you know, she does her job, her work on me. You know, she hit me with some stick or I don't know what, but she fucked me up pretty good, you know. And the next day we needed to go back to the sheriff's station and talk with somebody. I don't know why. I guess maybe like an investigator or something. But when we went back, she showed them, you know, all the stuff that she did to me, you know. So they ended up telling me, you know, all right, you know, you could take him home. We see you got it under control, Mrs. Camacho. Hey, listen to your mom, man. You know, you're not doing the right thing. And so she takes me home. She's all pissed off. I don't get suspended from school. I get expelled. I can't go to this school no more, right? Anyways, that was the first time that I ever got arrested, and that's what it was for, and this is where it was at. The guy who snitched on us, or snitched on me specifically, was this guy that they called Wolf. They called him Wolf or Woofy, right? And that fool got caught with a couple of sticks, didn't know what to say. He panicked and told him, you know, the clavo was in my locker and this and that. And that led me to get found with that thing in my wallet, right? Anyways, that doesn't just happen among kids. Could be your best friend, it could be a homie, could even be a family member. And you do something, and they might be involved or connected some way. They get caught, turn around, next thing you know, you're getting arrested for something. you know it's funny, but I'm actually having trouble keeping my cuss words in, because I get a little bit upset thinking about it. And it happened so long ago. I was just a kid, but still, I seen a picture of this guy the other day. Homeboy Pepe from the Pistoleros came and he worked on my bomb, and he brought a yearbook from Griffith. And I was looking through it, and I could see all my little young homeboys. They're all grown men now, of course, older men like myself. And I seen that fool, and he goes, "You know who that is, right?" And I go, "Nah, who is it?" And he tells me, "That's Wolfie." And I go, "Is that punk?" All right. And yeah, after I was already suspecting that was him. I don't know whatever happened to old Wolfie, because he disappeared. I think the homeboys, that were still in that school, figured things out, and did what they had to do. I ended up going to Belvedere, Stevenson, all the junior high schools around, but I wouldn't last more than a couple of days, and I'd get in a fight, and until I went to Montebello Intermediate. There we fought a lot too, but we just never got caught. I was hanging around with a guy from Little Son of Dukes. I don't know if they still exist. This was Boo Boo and Nani's brother, littlest, well, second to the youngest brother. And man, I think we got in a fight every day with the guys from Barrio Nuevo. They used to come down from the Montebello High School down to the intermediate, catch us at the bus stop sometimes. Sometimes we get on the bus and we had a free day, but most of the time we ended up fighting with them. But we kept on going to the school until we finished our schooling there. And anyways, I made a lot of bad decisions when I was young, as you guys who follow me and watch my videos know. This was just another one of those incidences that, went all bad for me, and I thought I was going to be cool. It was all parsley, except one stick that was in my wallet. Anyways, people, that's my story for today. It's the weekend. Just wanted to share a funny story, and a true incident that happened. And, I don't like to tell stories without there being some type of lesson or encouragement, man, for people. Be careful what you get involved with, especially if it has to do with drugs, especially in prison. If you get caught up and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get cut up. So the best thing is don't get involved with that stuff. I got a couple of friends right now that are really, really sick, man, and are struggling to stay off of that bad stuff, and I try to talk to them, but you know how that goes. When a person is doing what they're doing and they don't feel good, they're going to do whatever it is that makes them feel better. But I think if they would stop, they'd have a better chance to heal, to get better. And they hear me and they agree, but you never know. All I could do is keep them in prayer. Those of you who pray, keep them in your prayers. My friends that are sick from different sicknesses and stuff, because the stuff that they do enters the bloodstream and can be very, very detrimental to their recovery and their health. And a lot of times it takes more than just a homeboy trying to give them good advice. You know, sometimes it takes the hand of God to intervene. You know, and I don't talk about God much on my channel, but I do believe in God. You know, for sure, no doubt, and I do pray. So keep these guys in your prayer, people, and keep each other in prayer. And you guys be careful with the decisions you make, even if you're an older man. You know, I know that temptation is always out there, especially if you live that life for a long time. I struggle with it sometimes, you know, and I thank God that I'm able to overcome those thoughts and stuff that when they pop in my head, I don't know, I just ignore them and I shine them on and they go away and I keep on pushing. That being said, people, God bless you. God bless your families. Stay free. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and show your support. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you and yours.